all right. The kickoff of Women's Empowerment Week. I am excited to be here with you. I'm excited to be able to bring this message to you. I'm excited that I've got a special guest here today. And guess what? It's going to do one thing, it's going to empower women, and it's going to do it like never before. We've got an entire lineup set for the entire week. So every day, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, on these channels, you will be able to hear one powerhouse woman after the next as they bring their message, they bring their heart, their passion, and most of all, they bring their love. Why? Because this is Women's History Month. Why is it so important? Because of what's happened in the history for women. It hasn't been at a level playing field. It hasn't been right. And guess what we're doing? We're changing the game, starting with the power of women. And we're going to sponsor that from the perspective of real men. I'm speaking on behalf of all the real men out there in the world that believe that women should be cherished, should be honored, should be uplifted, so that we bridge this gap and take it to the next level of increasing what is available as far as all the love for humanity. So my special guest here today is Susie Del Hierro. Hello, Susie. Welcome to the stage.
Hello.
How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. I'm so glad that you are here, to be able to meet you on Clubhouse and then to be able to see our relationship grow. My wife brags on you all the time. She talks about how phenomenal you are. We've been in all these rooms together, and now we get on video and we get the
Yes.
world. We let the world see you, hear you. So it's your stage, Susie. Tell us a little bit about your background, and let's get into empowering other women.
Amen to that. So I am a SoCal native. I am a real estate professional out here in Southern California. I'm a mom to a 6-year-old gorgeous boy. I'm a wife, and I am here together and hoping to link arms with everyone on their journey and finding the strength for us to elevate and grow together.
So, Susie, what most women want to know when it comes to folks we bring up on the platform, they really want the real. They want to know, did you just grow up with a golden spoon in your mouth? Did you just have everything you wanted just from the gate? Or did you have to go through a lot of the typical trials and tribulations that most people go through? Let's get into the roots of your background.
Yes. I am the daughter of two Mexican parents that came here with nothing. They came here with a goal and a dream. My father opened up his own business 30 years ago, and I grew up with that model of my father just having that ambition for more and to do more. And for a long time as a kid, I hated it. My summers from school were spent working. My dad had to go and meet with clients, and we had to go with him. There was no babysitter. We were at the shop, we were working, and I hated everything about it as a kid. My parents had spaces at the swap meet, and we would have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And my dad always, told us the importance of, doing things for ourselves and having our own business and being your own boss. And I said, no, I would never do that. I hate it, and the struggle comes with that, because I saw my father very dedicated and devoted to a business. And as a kid, you don't really understand. And, I did grow up with that. My whole life was that, working with my parents. And as I became a young adult, I said, I'm going to get a job. I don't want to do this. This is too much time. My dad's always here. His whole life is this. And I wanted to break away from that, only to find myself back, remembering everything he instilled. And at 30 years old, realizing everything he gave me was gold. All those lessons that I pushed back on and said, no, I don't want that. You're just saying that because that's what you wanted to do, are lessons that I actually take now and I implement with where I'm trying to go, where I'm trying to get at, because I always think to myself, if my father came here with a goal and a dream to prosper, not knowing the language. I mean, my dad's going to be 80. He never learned English. He didn't have an iPhone. He didn't have the internet, and he prospered. And I always think to myself, even in the hard times that I say, man, this is hard, I think to myself, if my dad did it with literally nothing, he just did it with a goal and a dream and pure ambition and fire to thrive. Why not me? When I have so many advantages available to me, so many resources available to me that he never had. So why would I hinder myself along my own journey?
Well, this is great to be able to see the inspiration. So you're talking about in entrepreneurship, which allows, in my opinion, for women to be able to level the playing field. I call it the economy equalizer, utilizing entrepreneurship and the internet and being able to really get all that you can out of yourself. What are you currently doing now for your career, Susie?
I'm in real estate, which is, when I went into it, I really felt like it was a male dominant, you know, field. And I thought, man, all these men out here just doing this, doing that, until I started getting into it more and more. And I'm seeing so many women thriving in this industry, killing it, sometimes even better than the men amongst their own teams. And it's been different now that I'm in it because I get to see that on my side, women, just killing it in respectively, in their own lane, doing their own thing and finding their own unique ways to work with our clients and just, having a different perspective about it because there are many, many women in my industry just doing the damn thing.
I love that. Okay, now check this out, Susie. What motivates you the most? Like, what makes you tick? When you wake up in the morning, where's that power come from?
Being a mom, my baby, I did have to go through a point where I had to see myself and just really reflect on what does my son see when he sees his mom. I have to really, align myself with what do I want him to see? What do I want him to remember me as? And I just started thinking to myself, you know what? I'd go through the fire 100 times if it means that my son can look at me someday the way that I look at my dad. And I'm his mom. And I know that, especially in our culture, a lot of the women, the old school women, our grandmas, just going down the line, the family line, they were homemakers. And that's just what their roles were. The men went out to work, they made a living, and long gone are the days of our places in the kitchen. I mean, we're over here, breaking glass ceilings and paving our own ways. And I see my son and I want him to think, my mom is a badass. She overcame the mental breaks, the emotional attachment to things and, just the guilt because mom guilt is real. I do live with that a lot, because he's my only
Mom
child.
guilt. Go in on that a little bit. What do you mean, mom guilt?
It's just taking myself away from my home, taking myself away from my child and feeling that guilt of, will I look back at some point in my life, in my old age or in my final days of life, just thinking, am I going to regret any of it, sacrificing my mom time? But I have to, bring myself, just to a point where I realize I'm going through certain things and going through, just breaking my own guilt because I know that in the grand scheme of things, my son is going to have opportunities that I never had. My son is going to be able to take advantage of my knowledge and my experience to say, you know what, even if he doesn't want to do what I do, that's completely fine, but just being able to teach him that, you know what, I sacrificed, I did, and it was hard. Just making that choice sometimes, like I have to pick, Sunday at home with my child or Sunday at home working with a client. And I think, well, look at what we get to take advantage of, because if mom goes out to work, we can go on a nice vacation, we can, enjoy the time when we are together, and I think that's very important to me on what I get to accomplish, to show my son that, you know what, your mom did that. And that's
Wow.
that's truly important to me.
This is awesome. I mean, when we think about Women's Empowerment Week, I wonder what that means to you. So when my staff reached out and said, "Hey, Susie, we want you on our Women's Empowerment Week," what does Women's Empowerment Week mean to you?
It means togetherness. It means bringing each other up. It means helping each other out. I think if there's one thing we can all relate on, it's struggle. We've all had to struggle on our journey, every single one of us in our own ways, which, whether it was small struggle, big struggle, huge struggle, we can all relate to that. We can all come together through struggle and sharing and building each other up instead of looking at each other. Because I know a lot of the times people look at women like, you guys are so catty, you guys are like this or like that. And it doesn't have to be that way. I get tremendous joy seeing women out there killing it and clapping them on, even if when they're strangers. I have so many strangers on my social media that I don't know, but we've built relationships just clapping each other on. And it takes nothing out of you to be, encouraging of another woman. It's hard, and it's even harder when we're up against each other and being catty or being haters or just being spiteful of another woman's success. Like, we can all have what we strive to have. It doesn't take away from the next person or the next woman. Like, we are better together. We are better linking arms and helping each other in our own ways.
But to operate from a position and a thought process of abundance rather than scarcity, to get rid of the jealousy factor, I call it, which I believe comes from the scarcity mentality. And one thing I've noticed about you, in being in different rooms and on social media platforms, is you're always uplifting and edifying others. So that must mean that you're not afraid of other women to shine. Is that what that means?
No. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If there's one thing I love, and no pun to the men, no pun to the guys, but if there's one thing I love is seeing a woman just shine. Like I said, it's hard. And it's even harder when we're up against each other. And it's a beautiful thing to embrace a woman breaking through the mental barriers, the mom guilt, the wife guilt, the being at home and dealing with everything you already deal with to just accomplish that one thing, that one step that's going to bring you closer to your goal, to your dream life. And it's amazing to embrace that. And I feel like I definitely get great joy of seeing someone, whether it's doing your business from home or doing something on the internet that makes you genuinely happy. That's happy, that's happiness to me, to see somebody thriving and coming out of your shell to just go into something new. That's a big deal.
Speaking of something new, well, we've had this pandemic we've been having to work through, and it's made people recalibrate. And you being in real estate, I know that had to have an effect on you. How have you adapted? How are you overcoming the challenges from the pandemic, from the women's perspective?
I think the I have honestly during the pandemic has put me in a position to build so many amazing relationships because all we have for a while was this technology, and that's how we were all connecting, was through technology. And I found this pandemic to be very, it shifted us in a way that we've never experienced before in our lifetime. And I feel like it definitely allowed me to take advantage of what was in front of me. And social media was one of them. I've connected with so many amazing people, and we've all learned through the struggle. We've all learned and kind of masterminded together what's working for you, what's not working for you, and how are you adapting, and just, just reaching out to other people and just learning as you go, because you're either going to sink or swim. And I feel like that's been something that has been heavily implemented during the time of just the unknown. Every single day we were living something new, and there was a new setback and something different changing throughout all of, the majority of last year.
Yeah, so true. I mean, it really forced us to bring our A game. So, do you feel you've been doing well with the adaptation of what's happening for yourself personally?
Yes, actually for me during the pandemic, everything was just kind of closing up around us, everything. And we were thrown into just things that we weren't used to. And actually, throughout the pandemic, I've been able to get in shape. I was determined to say, you know what, if I'm going to be here at home, if I have no other option, no other recourse to get out, and, I don't know really what's going to happen next, the only thing I can do is just focus on what's in front of me. And I really dedicated my time to working out and pushing myself as hard as I could and not be in front of the news all day long. Because I think that was also an easy thing to do during the pandemic, just sit there and watch TV and just watch what's going on every hour of the day. And I told myself, no, 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 this is time to put that all that time that I never had before and complaining that I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. I've got it now. So I'm going to make the best use out of this time. So I've, kicked my own butt and, started working out, started just working on myself, books, just linking up with other people, that I can learn from, people that have more experience than I do, and just building that during a time where we didn't have a lot to go on.
So I'm writing a book now, and it's called The Power of a Woman from the Perspective of Real Men. And the reason I'm writing that book, Susie, is because back in 2014, when my wife Lena got pregnant, early on there was this doctor that they said that he could tell the sex of the child earlier than anybody, that he was about 85% accurate with his predictions. So he said, "You're going to have a girl." So for 1 month, I was thinking I was having a girl. And as that hit home with me, I just couldn't imagine bringing a daughter into this world with all the craziness that goes on. And so that really is what inspired the book. I really, really want to take that inspiration from then and bring it to the forefront now. And people like you, Susie, your strength, your fire, your passion, the way you carry yourself, you're the epitome of what I'm talking about in that book. And I just want to kind of get your feelings on how you feel about that title and having what I call real men stepping up to speak on behalf and in support of the power of a woman. What's your thoughts on that?
I love it. I love it. Especially, I'm Mexican. I come from, I do have family and, lines of family that just kind of goes down to the old school mentality and how the women's role should be. And I'm living in a generation where, women are doing way more than they did centuries ago, decades ago. A lot of women are first generation, entrepreneurs, first generation, you know, mom that works, wife that works. And I feel like, and a lot of the times it's kind of weird for me sometimes because I'm like, I'm just living life being me, doing what I do. And I'm very grateful to have a supportive husband that believes in what I do and how much I do. And he sometimes believes in me more than I do because I do go through those funks with, being a mom and a wife and, my duties at home and things like that. But I think that for men to just acknowledge what we bring to the table and how powerful we truly are is, it's special.
Yeah, that hits me. If people want to know more about that, go over to powerofawomanbook.com. You can get pre-registered to get the first release. We're going to do a big launch party. So here's what I want to do, because everyone that comes on the platform, I want to be able to showcase what they're about, what they're doing, how people contact you. Can you tell folks a little bit about how do they reach out to you? Do you have anything that you love to be able to offer to the world so that they can that you can help them and then they can be supportive of you?
Yes, I love that. Support. I'm a strong believer in we're better together. We truly are. And I know, some people do reach out to me and they're not necessarily in my field. They're not in real estate, but they just want to talk to somebody. They want to, pick my brain about certain things. And I'm always happy to share whatever I can share. You can reach me on Instagram. I'm at Susie Del Hierro. And I'm a Southern California real estate agent, and I'm here in support of anybody that needs, that extra push, that extra encouragement. A lot of the times within our own circles, within our own families, we don't have that support, and that's real. And I'm surprised sometimes to realize like how much that's a huge lacking piece for a lot of people that just don't have that in their families, in their circles, in their friends, within their peers. They don't have that. And I've come together with more strangers in my lifetime, over the last year, just coming together and just sharing something, sharing a book that helped me, reading a book that helped strengthen my frame of mind, sharing little things like that, tips like that, that, doesn't necessarily mean, you're taking anything away from me. We're here to help each other. We are better, better, better together.
That's right. You know, do you have a real estate course? Do you have any courses that people can get a hold of on the home ownership process? Do you have anything like that?
I don't. And sometimes
I,
I feel like I should put it to work, but I will be very honest. I'm very, very camera shy, Jay. I'm very camera shy. I'm
in
not
the
kidding.
comments, if you're on the comments, I want everybody to comment how y'all believe Susie's doing today on all of our different chat boards. Can y'all just give her how you feel about how she's doing today? Because I believe you're doing phenomenal. It's
Thank
like
you,
you've been
Jay.
here
I
the
really,
whole time.
really appreciate it. And I was telling Jackie, I'm so nervous. You guys can see
Oh,
you can't really see it on camera, but my palms are sweaty. I do get very camera shy. Um, and that's why I don't always, you don't always see me on Instagram. I'm always on my DMs. I do try to answer everything that I possibly can, my
right.
emails, but I am very camera shy. And that's why I haven't gone into courses and things like that. But I do share what worked for me. For people that are coming into my field and people that are about to take a test, I'll give them the secret sauce. I'll tell them, look, this is what I did. This is what worked for me. I tried this and I didn't really like it because A, B, and C. Um, and I'm happy to share that anytime,
Yeah,
any day.
the comments are coming in going, I couldn't sense any camera shyness. You are doing awesome. I see she is doing amazing. Girl, you're 100% exclamation, exclamation. Great freaking job. Susie, you are amazing. I mean, that's what's coming in.
Thank you. I wish you
I
guys
mean,
can see. I really am. I'm like perspiring over here.
hey, but guess what? That's the power of a woman.
It is.
That's you reaching down, going, you know what? In spite of me being nervous, because I'm sure you've had times where I don't know exactly what to do as a mother, but guess what? You figured it out. You did it. You reached
Yes.
down. And I want to tell you that what I saw here today with you, being that you're nervous, you have really inspired. Ladies, how many of y'all feel inspired by Susie today for her stepping up, going through it? I mean, there's something to be said about that, don't you think, Susie?
Definitely. And I do try to push myself. 2 years ago, I would have never done this, Jay. I would have just been in my shell, like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. No way, no how, never. But then I realized, you know what? Somebody else can be thinking the same thing. Somebody else can be hindering their own opportunities to share a relatable moment with someone else. And I know this being on camera is nerve wracking for a lot of people like myself, but we've got this. It's okay. Like, we're here, we're well, we're alive. It's not as serious as we make it seem. And we get in our heads a lot of the time, which doesn't necessarily serve our purpose.
I'm going to be doing more. Listen, we're taking this to the next level. I can't sit here and have this powerhouse woman, Susie, have all this knowledge, all this posture under pressure, and not have her shine with it. I believe we should help you put a course together about how home ownership works. Because how many questions do you get all the time about that?
Every day. Every day. I really do. Every single day, someone's asking me, just, the internet's not always that clear, or sometimes things need to be broken up in simpler terms. And I'm happy to do that. No obligation to anyone, just sharing what I know. And I always tell this to people, you're better off knowing than wondering, always. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you may have, and just building that, be comfortable asking questions. A lot of the answers that you're seeking are on the other side of just ask the question. Just ask. It's okay.
I'm telling you, there's someone, one of my favorite people in the world, Andrea Selby. I know Andrea is like, she works with me closely. And she says, I'm inspired. Can you put that comment up? Let me get my staff. They can put Andrew's comment up. I want Susie to see this. Watch this. Let's see if we can get this up on the screen here as we're closing out. Look at that.
Aw. Thank you,
I'm
Andrea.
inspired. I feel you, girl. You did phenomenal. There's so many women that's got this powerful message down in them. And Susie's helped bring it out today and inspire other
Yes.
people. So we love you. We are so blessed and honored you came on the platform.
Thank
It's
you.
just an honor for me to be here. Any parting words you got? The stage is yours.
I mean, I can say so many things, but I just want to say, especially, being in what I do, I always tell people, we can all go out and work, we can all go out and do what we do, but there's something powerful in making an income with impact. What can you do along your way, along your journey? And I have found myself helping others in so many ways that has helped me more than it probably helped them. And I feel like if you've got something to share, share it. Share it, help somebody. You never know what that minuscule piece of advice can do for someone that will help them in such a tremendous way. And I feel like, when we're in a position to help others, let's do our best. Let's do our part to help each other, to strengthen each other, to encourage each other, because we are powerful, powerful, powerful beings. And this is our time.
I've been blessed beyond my wildest dreams sharing this space with you. Thank you so much, Susie, for
Thank you, Jay.
empowering other women, taking it
Amen.
to the next level. Susie and I
Yes.
were locking arms, and we're going to keep this
Yes.
message going. Are you ready to do it,
Yes.
girl?
Absolutely.
All right, we're saying bye to everybody right now. We'll catch you on the next show. Take care. Love you, Susie.
Thank you, Jay.